I'm First Alert Storm Team meteorologist AJ Rickman. We are currently under a couple of winter weather alerts. There is a winter weather advisory for much of eastern Iowa. There's also an ice storm warning that is in effect. These go into effect tonight and remain in effect through Saturday morning. Here's the way things time out. We are looking at mostly dry conditions and safe travel until about 9 to 11 o'clock tonight. That's when we are starting to see the first patches of that freezing rain and wintry mix developing. Then things get worse from midnight tonight until about 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're going to be watching a wintry mix of primarily freezing rain with some sleet and snow mixed in at times, expanding across eastern Iowa. We will be watching for freezing rain to accumulate on all surfaces, including roadways, and that's going to create hazardous travel. Now, we are going to see things improve as we go through Saturday morning and through Saturday afternoon as warm air works its way in, and that will change our frozen precipitation over to rain. Through your evening, we're going to see cold conditions, but gradually temperatures warm through the night as we do see that freezing rain start. Again, between about 9 and 11, we get the first isolated patches. By midnight, most of eastern Iowa is seeing, to one degree or another, a wintry mix. Tomorrow, temperatures reach the low to mid 30s, which is just warm enough, like I mentioned, for a lot of that frozen precipitation to change over to rain. Time things out for you in your Pinpoint Futurecast. As we get towards the 10 o'clock hour, most areas are still dry. However, we are starting to see just off to our west that frozen precipitation moving in. That continues as we get to the 11 o'clock hour, and by midnight, places such as Tama, Cedar Rapids, Oskaloosa, Charles City, Waterloo are starting to get the first rounds of snow, sleet, and again, primarily freezing rain with this event. As we get towards 1 o'clock Saturday, that activity does continue to spread and work its way towards the north and east. By the time we get to 2 o'clock in the morning, much of eastern Iowa is starting to see that wintry mix, and that continues to overspread the area by 3 o'clock in the morning. Once we get towards 5 a.m. Saturday, we do start to see that transition to rain in areas south of Interstate 80, and that transition line from frozen precipitation to rain is going to slowly work its way north. By 6 a.m. Saturday, it is approaching that I-80 corridor. As we get towards the 7 a.m. and then 8 a.m. hour, it has moved north of places such as Tama. Iowa City is right there on that line between frozen and liquid precipitation. Areas farther south by 8 a.m. Saturday, Oskaloosa, Mount Pleasant, Washington, are looking to have changed over to rain. As we go through mid-morning, 9 a.m. and then 10 a.m., we do continue to see that warm air very slowly push its way north. Waterloo is right there on that dividing line between frozen and liquid precipitation. Maquoketa, Dubuque, Prairie du Chien are still seeing that wintry mix in ice. Cedar Rapids is right on that transition line as well. By 11 a.m. and then noon, we're starting to see a push of warm air working again into places such as Waterloo. Cedar Rapids is there on the edge in Tama. By 1 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, by 3 o'clock in the afternoon especially, we're starting to see that frozen precipitation push north into areas primarily along and north of the Highway 20 corridor. As we go through the afternoon, our farthest northern counties, areas north of Highway 20, are going to struggle to change over to rain. It's going to take a little bit of a while there, so do be prepared for hazardous travel in our northern counties through a good portion of Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. Elsewhere, areas farther south have switched over to rain by 6 p.m. Saturday. Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Tama, you guys will be seeing improving travel conditions, and conditions will continue to improve as we head through Saturday night. By 10 p.m., precipitation is starting to taper off. We're seeing temperatures that are close to or above freezing across much of eastern Iowa. We'll continue to see that precipitation taper off into the early morning hours of Sunday as warmer air continues to work its way in for the day on Sunday. Now, looking at storm totals, 1/10 of an inch to 1/3 of an inch of ice in that central eastern Iowa region, stretching from Fayette south to about Washington. Areas north and south of that could pick up anywhere from a glaze of ice up to 1/10 of an inch. And then we are watching for a trace to an inch of snow, primarily along and north of the Highway 20 corridor. But again, ice is going to be the major concern with this event. That is going to be what has the biggest travel impacts as we go through the next 24 hours. So as we go through this weekend Saturday, again, be cautious of travel, especially early in the day. By Sunday, warmer air works its way in. We're in for a fairly quiet and mild day. We are watching for another chance of rain Sunday night into Monday, but I'd like to emphasize this is just rain. No frozen precipitation that we're dealing with then. And then we do keep things fairly dry for much of the week, other than a passing chance for some snow showers as we go through the day on Wednesday. But then your 9-day forecast does show fairly dry but dropping temperatures. We'll be in the 30s for highs Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. By the time we get to Friday, highs are in the upper 20s and lower 30s, 20s for the winter solstice.